There's a big difference between talking and reporting, especially right now with a fire hose worth of news coming your way. You know what helps? Having reporters in the field. I'm Brad Milkey from ABC News, and that's what we've got on ABC's daily podcast, Start Here. Every morning, Start Here takes you across the country and around the world for a quick, smart look at the stories that matter. It's fast, it's straightforward, and sometimes, gasp, news can even be fun. So let's meet up tomorrow morning. Listen to Start Here wherever you get your podcasts.
Today on CityCast Philly, we might not have snow on the ground and the groundhog signaled an early spring, but it's still technically sweater weather. So before you pack up your winter gear, make some room for some delicious Philly soup. A few months back, I chatted with CityCast Philly food contributor Dave Wes about his 8 favorite places to grab a bowl of soup. It's Tuesday, February 6th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Dave, welcome back to CityCast Philly.
Good to be here.
What makes a soup, and then what makes a stew?
That's a really good question because they're very similar when you start thinking about it. But I didn't go to culinary school. I'm not classically trained, but in my brain, the way I think is if the broth ratio is higher, that is a soup. But if the stuff in the soup is a higher ratio, like meat, potatoes, onions, carrots, if that's more than 50% and that rules, then that's a stew. That's how I go.
Gotcha. I recently made a beef roast, and someone told me, well, today, because you put a lot of carrots in there, now it's a stew. So I was like, okay.
Oh, it's the carrot ratio.
It might be the carrots.
Okay.
All right, let's take a soup tour in Philly. Where should we start?
I think we should start in Chinatown. There's a lot of good soups, but I have one that's close to my heart that we'll start with. So Sang-Ki, they're known for their duck.
Okay.
But they also have amazing soups. Whenever I'm sick, this is the soup my girlfriend buys me. And you can call it a wonton soup, but it's not just a wonton soup because it comes with pork, their duck, and then wontons and some vegetables, all in a nice hot broth. It'll bring you back to life, I promise.
And I love that. I was going to say soups are like essential for this season when everyone's sick. So grab this soup. Okay. One of my favorite soups is ramen. Where can I go in West Philly to get some ramen?
I would check out Terakawa. They make an exceptional ramen. I love them because their broth is really, really good. I would say better than a lot of other places. And I get the tantan when I'm there, which is the ramen noodles, spicy broth, and then grinded up pork pieces. And then if you don't eat pork, they also do it with chicken. It's probably my favorite there. And I like to go to the University City location, but they also have another location in Chinatown.
Shipping can make or break a sale, so optimize how you ship your orders with ShipStation. They make it easy to automate and manage orders no matter how big your business grows. And they might even be able to help reduce shipping and warehouse costs. So optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Sign up for your free 60-day trial now at ShipStation.com and use the code POD. That's ShipStation.com with the code POD.
Okay, take me down to South Philly, Dave. Where should we go?
All right, so let's check out West Passyunk, one of my favorite places, Cafe Nan, where they have the Bumbleway, which I think I'm pronouncing it right, but they have an extraordinary soup. It's not for everyone. It's more for your advanced eaters, I would say, because it has beef brisket, pig feet, blood cubes, and lemon with a lemongrass broth, a spicy lemongrass broth.
Okay, that's a lot of ingredients in that one.
If you don't want to go hardcore into some serious flavors, you can get like regular pho with like just brisket and noodles, and they have a kids version too if you really don't want to go too crazy.
Okay, speaking of pho, where can we go if we're looking for that?
I would go to Pho 75. Their bowls of pho are about the size, like bigger than my head. And those of you who don't know my head, it's big. Like it's a big bowl. I feel like it's a gallon of pho. And then you have the option to put more noodles in if you want extra noodles. They have all the condiments on the table. It's seriously, like, I have friends that'll just split a bowl between two people because that's how big it is.
Oh, wow. I'm not sharing my soup with anyone.
Yeah.
What about in Queen Village?
We'll go 4th Street Deli, and they're making an amazing matzo ball soup. The matzo ball itself is probably the size of like a baseball, if not a softball. And that's another thing, like liquid penicillin. If you're feeling sick, that's another place I'll order. I might do one of each, depending how sick I am.
Now, I got to ask you, when I'm sick, I like to add spicy elements so that I can start sweating out my cold. So I'll add some hot sauce, a little bit of crushed pepper. Do you like your soups hot, or do you like them kind of more savory or bland?
Well, normally spicy, make it spicy. But if I'm sick, depending how sick I am, I don't do as many spices or hot sauces. What's your favorite hot sauce that you put in your soups?
I love Cholula. I love
good.
Cholula hot sauce. Pretty much any flavor that they have, I love.
That's really good. I love that on my tacos.
If I'm in Old City, where can I get a good cup of soup?
Ooh, so for Cynthia, makes an amazing French onion soup. So it's got all the components you want. You want the onions, the broth. The broth is actually made, they have duck in it, so it has that really nice savory flavor to it. Then they have the piece of bread, and then they have the cheese that's super melty, and you just pull it up. Makes great for cheese pulls. It's definitely my favorite French onion soup in the city.
Do they serve it in that like special little like cauldron cup thing?
A little crock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be official if it didn't. Or come in a nice bowl.
Dave, do you have any recommendations for places we could get soup in Center City?
Yeah. Center City, I would go to the Oyster House. They have a really good clam chowder there. And if you get the bar seat, you can get a seat right in front of the oyster shucker. So you can get some oysters, some sweet amalias, have a little show as he cracks them open, and then have some nice soup there too.
I like that. Okay, this list has been so amazing, Dave, but I've got a recommendation for you. You got to go to the Couch Tomato in Manayunk.
Couch Tomato. I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah, but you got to go during lunch because there's like no one in there. Order a cup of tomato soup or chicken chipotle soup. It will warm your soul. So if you're sick, perfect soup. Get a grilled cheese if you want to add something else. I love tomato soup with grilled cheese.
So they sell grilled cheese there, so you can like add it on and do a little dippy time in that?
Yes, you can.
You sold me.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in Manayunk or sick, I'll definitely check them out.
Awesome. That's Dave West, CityCast Philly's food contributor and food curator of Feeding Time TV. Thank you so much for all these recommendations and for joining me on CityCast Philly.
As always, thank you for having me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about where you can find some really good soup in Philly, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.